Hello everyone, I'm Louis Verhelden, tagging expert at TAGGRS, and today we will be setting up Pinterest server-side tracking. This video is the 7th episode of this series, and we will continue with the setup from our first video. So if you haven't seen that one, please check it out first. In that video, we explain how to do the GA4 server-side tracking setup, which is necessary for setting up other tags such as Pinterest. I will show you what we have been setting up already in our first video. We have our web container and our server container. We see in our web container we have a Google tag and a GA4 tag and a TAGGRS web tag. The Google tag makes sure we forward all events to our server container, and the GA4 tag measures all e-commerce events and forwards it to our server container. Then when the events arrive in our server container, we forward them to GA4 with this tag. TAGGRS tag in the web and TAGGRS tag in the server is purely to measure the difference between web and server-side tracking. I will show you briefly how this works, but as I told you before, you can find this explanation in the first video on how to set it up. So I'll go in preview mode of our server container, like this. Preview mode of our web container, like this. And what we can see is here the Google tag has fired. It has sent a page view to our server container, and then it gets forwarded to J4. The same with other events, like view content, view item. So view item, J4 tag has fired, forwards to server container, enters the server container, and gets sent to J4. So that's what we already have. We'll be working from this point. So first we will make a Pinterest ad account. So you'll have to log in on pinterest.com/business/business manager, and then you will be able to make a ad account. I will call this demo taggers Netherlands. We check if I have to add myself. Nope. So that's fine. So we have another account. Go to conversions. Okay, that's what we need. Install Pinterest tag ID. The website is, let me check. This one. I don't know what's happening, but I will change this. I think we can skip it actually. This as well. I think the only thing we need is this ID. We will start with the web setup. We will use a Pinterest template tag for that. Okay. Pinterest tag ID. And I think it's this one, but I will check to be sure. Yeah, it will be that one. So the 26 number. Let's save it in a constant. This one on all pages. Let's see if this one sets a cookie as well. Pinterest. No, I cannot see this. Go in preview mode. See how it reacts. Pinterest config tag has fired. Let's see if we put a epic. This is the value that gets added when you click on an ad. This epic value will be added. I want to check if this tag sets a cookie. It does, so that's good. Great. So we don't have to do it manually, as for example with Snapchat or TikTok. This tag does it for us. That's useful. Let's see what's next. We can set up the different events. Let me check if there's another one. Here I can change it. Okay. We can set a page visit. Test tag ID, we have this one. Was it 261? Page visits. Product ID. Let's check if we have this. Yeah, I'm sure we have this, but let me check. What is the value? Product ID will be this one. As you can see, it's e-commerce.items.item ID. And that's exactly what we do with this Chrome extension. We pick it like this. We make a data layer variable to save it, and we already have it. Let's save it. Product category, if we have it. Item category, yes. This one. Let's check if we already have it. Yes. This data layer variable. Custom parameters. because we will send events from the web and from the server container, we will have to deduplicate the events. And this can be done like this. You send, you make a custom parameter with event ID, and you add a value, templates variable, and choose templates, event ID. We already have it as well. Just like this. And this one will trigger on view item. So it's a custom event with event name view item. Let's check how this works. I'm also checking if you have a Pinterest pixel helper. So we can easily see what data is leaving our browser. Here it is. Voila. Close this one again. Actually, this one as well. Let's go in preview mode. Now we should have a page visit event. Yes. Perfect. Event data, product ID 15, product category, no category. This is correct. So this is good. We can do this for the other events as well. I will duplicate it, add to cart. And then change the event to add to cart. With warnings, the value is missing. Okay. So we have the value available. We'll have to add it. It's e-commerce.value. Order value. We already have this variable. Currency. We have this variable already as well, normally. This one. Voila. Order quantity. I think we have it as well. This one. Order ID, we will not have this because it's not a sale. So this should be fine. Let's check it. Quantity, value, euro. Okay, we have a warning, no enhanced match was found, but at this moment we don't have a email address or telephone number or something else that can identify this person. We only have this available on the purchase event. So we have set up page visit config add to cart. We will set up the next one. So we could also add checkout. Yeah, checkout will be the next one. Checkout. And this will be called begin checkout. I will show you this. This event is called begin checkout with this data available. So we'll just copy it and change the trigger. We will do the same for purchase. Go back into preview mode. So to be clear, this is all happening still in our web container. We haven't done anything yet in our server container. Go to shop, to cart. We will view our cart. Go to checkout. So here, begin checkout should trigger. Checkout event was sent successfully with warnings. No enhanced match was found. That's okay. Order ID is missing. That's normally also okay because we don't have it at this point. Yep. Something more that is missing? No. This looks fine. So we will fill in this data. Test address. Place an order. Checkout event was successfully sent. Yes, looking good. Now we still have to add the personal data and the order ID because at this event we do have it available. As you can see, we have her first name, last name, email, etc. And we also have a transaction ID. So you can see here. So we'll modify this. We'll add the email. Let's check what field we can use for this. For example, this one. Let's read what it says. Optional but required for enhanced match. We can use a raw email address as well. That's good. So we can just use a normal email address. We already have this variable, say data layer variable with exactly this, as you can see here. So that's okay. And then order ID. Transaction ID. E-commerce.transaction ID. Yes, it's this one. Let's test it again. Purchase. Yes, that's good. Send successfully. Order ID. And also the enhanced match is gone because now we have sent the email address. That's perfect. Okay, so for the web parts, everything has been set up. It's not so difficult because we have a nice data layer with the WordPress plugin. Um, if your data layer is not as nice, you will have some more difficulties. Maybe you'll have to use custom JavaScript to modify some item IDs, etc. But this is now out of the scope of this video. So I will continue with the server container. Because we send all our events from our web to our server container, we have to make sure that this tag has been set up well. As we can see, this GA4 tag sends the event's name to our server container with event ID. And we have checked this box so it can read all the e-commerce data, and it just forwards it to our server container in the right format. This event triggers on all e-commerce events. This is a regex custom event with view item list, view item, add to cart, begin checkout and purchase. So I will show you how this event behaves. And save it. One more thing. We also will include user provided data from your website. We already have one, but basically the email address that we pick from the data layer and the phone that we pick from the data layer. As you can see, it's this email address, and if we have the phone, that phone as well, that we save in a user provided data variable, and we give it together with GA4 tag. Stay here. It's important that we send the event ID as well to deduplicate, because then this event ID will be forwarded to server container. You can save this. Can go in preview mode over server container. In preview mode over web container. As you can see, this event will enter our server container. And from this on, we can forward the data to Pinterest. And for that, we will need to set up conversion API in Pinterest ad account. As you can see also, Google Tag Manager events have entered our ad account. Everything looks fine. We have all the value, so that's good. We'll start the setup for our server container. We will generate a new conversion access token. This is this one. Can copy it. We'll search for a new tag, Pinterest. It's in the template gallery. Pinterest all events, access token. There's this one. An advertiser ID is the one that starts with 549. So this number. We copy this. Yes. We will put it on inherit from clients. This means that it will inherit every data that it gets from the GA4 client. So it's really easy to set this up. It will just forward all data in the correct format. We can also override it with some events we want. But for now, this is not necessary. Maybe later we have to do it, but I think it inherits everything perfectly. Um, Test mode, yes, we will send a test request. Otherwise, it will not show up here. Now it will show up. So we can test if everything is working fine. And we will trigger this on custom trigger. And the custom trigger is basically custom trigger with the client name equals GA4. So that's important. Let me select this one. Go in preview mode for server. So I will just reload this. You'll see on view item page view this has been failed. Let's check why. Event ID is a required property. I know why this is happening. Because this tag sends an event ID, but we sends a page view, sorry, but it didn't have a event ID. Now it will have one. As you can see now, it has fired. Page visit, event ID, it has inherited the event ID that we just sent. So that's perfect. Response body is looking fine as well. We get a 200 status code. This is great. It's what we need. So this is looking good. Let's check if these events are entering our server container. Filter it on server-side GTM. We have a warning, external IDs missing. This is not a problem, I think, because we don't have it. Let's see if it's fixed with a epic cookie that has been set when we click on a add. I think no, we don't have that cookie yet. Yes, epic. I think we will have to add it manually. Click ID. Yes, it will be this one. Let's make a cookie. Cookie value. Let me check again if we have the epic cookie. No, we don't have it, so it's important to manually add it. Now it's sending click ID. Let's check. Okay, click ID is entering. Content IDs are missing. Let me check that. Contents, no, you're sending it, it's fine. We can ignore this error because we are sending the content IDs, which is correct. External ID is missing. We can also ignore this. This is if you have like an internal system with a ID that you give to a user, to a client, but we don't have it. This case, let's check also the other events. Add to cards. Add to cards. It's also fine. Cards. Yes. Let's trigger a checkout event. Purchase event is entering our server container. This sends a event checkout to our Pinterest ad account. And let me check. This has entered IP address, user agent, click ID. This is looking fine. External ID is missing. Order ID is missing. Let me check. Let's see if order ID is entering our server container. Transaction ID, yes. 111. It is missing indeed, so we'll have to add it manually. Transaction ID. This is event data. Something more that was missing. Here we have the user data email. And I don't think it has been sent with the tag as well. Let me check. No, no email. So let's also send it with the tag. Email event data. This will be user data.email. Event data variable. We already have one. So we can use this one. We're in preview mode again of our server container. And we will trigger another purchase event. Purchase. Let's see what leaves our server container. Email. And it has been modified. It has been hashed. So this is great. Order ID as well, 112. So this is even better. Hashed email, click ID, order ID. Okay. Um, that's it for the setup. So it's not a really not a really difficult setup. If you have a good data layer, it's pretty straightforward. Just take in mind to also send the epic cookie that will allow you to measure much more um, conversions from ads. Also at the email um, and order ID. But for the rest, it's pretty easy setup. Um, that's all I wanted to say about the setup. Then I want to show you also our templates gallery. And let me log in for a second. So we have a template gallery in which we have web and server containers already made. So you can just download it and import it into GTM. It saves you a lot of time. Also, it helps you with the setup if you're not really technical. So it can help you a lot. Also, I want to tell you that we have this setup also written down in our blog posts, sorry. So there you can check it as well. Um, that's it for today, I think. Let me check if I forgot something. No, that will be it. So I hope you learned something in this video. And if you have any questions, please put it in the comments or send us a message via LinkedIn or email or whatever you want. Thank you very much for attending and see you in 2 weeks. Bye bye.